Vanna, it's our 40th season. Can you believe it?
I can't believe it. And we want to thank you, the viewers, for having us in your homes for the past 40 years.
Yeah, Pat Sajak and Vanna White have been driving the Wheel of Fortune for 4 decades, but yesterday, Pat said he'll go for one more spin, and then he's out. He tweeted, "Well, the time has come. I've decided that our 41st season, which begins in September, will be my last. It's been a wonderful ride, and I'll have more to say in the coming months. Many thanks to you all. If nothing else, it'll keep the clickbait sites busy." Pat would be referring to such tabloid headlines as his made-up nervous breakdown in 2020, the false 2019 cover story that he and Vanna had an affair, or that he was fighting to keep his job in 2021. Putting up with fake news is one of the few downsides of the job for Pat.
Every night, especially here on Wheel, it's been that way for 40 years.
Vanna responded to Pat's announcement today, tweeting, "When we started Wheel of Fortune, who could have imagined we'd still be at it 41 seasons later? I couldn't be happier to have shared the stage with you for all these years with one more to come. Cheers to you, Pat." So the wording of that, Vanna's just saying that she has one more to come with Pat, not necessarily that she only has one more to come too. In 2021, both Pat and Vanna reportedly renewed their contracts through 2024. So yeah, Pat is leaving at the end of his current contract. Now apparently he'll stay on as a consultant for the next 3 years, but I mean, how much consulting, if it stays the same, does Wheel of Fortune need? And if they're going to revamp the show, they're not going to really go to Pat to tell them how to revamp the show. So Vanna wants to stay on beyond next season. She'll be back at the negotiation table with CBS. So here's my question for you. Let's say Vanna wants to stay on beyond next season. You're CBS. What do you do? Do you keep Vanna in her current role for stability for the audience and then bring in a new host? Do you make Vanna the host? Because then you have stability and then you still have Vanna on the show? Or do you say to Vanna, "Thank you for your service, but we're going to go and revamp the show a little bit"? What are you going to do? If I was solving this puzzle, here's my thought. I don't think you can keep Vanna in her current role. I think Wheel of Fortune has gotten away with not really changing that much because the hosts haven't changed. Well, now that bubble is bursting, and I think it's going to become very apparent that times are changing. So the show is going to have to evolve. So I think if you just bring a new host in, I think it's going to be glaringly obvious that Vanna's role has been completely unnecessary since 1997. I'm not saying she hasn't been a welcome presence on the show, but the show changed to touchscreens 26 years ago. No human has been needed to touch those screens to get letters to appear. If they can turn blue on their own, they can show letters on their own. So it's time to cut Vanna's role. But do you cut Vanna? I say no. She proved to be a solid host when she stepped in 2019 when Pat had to deal with his medical issues. My initial hesitation to making her the host would be, well, how long is she going to stay on? But, I mean, she's 66, Pat is 76, so I mean, if you get 9 years out of Vanna hosting, why not? And I think we saw with Jeopardy that the job isn't as easy as it looks, and it can turn into a nightmare finding the proper replacement. So I say make Vanna the host, but I want to hear, you're CBS, what do you do at that negotiation table?